Everyone wants to be right. But what if our idea of right isn't right? Are you able to truly consider alternatives to your own perspectives? Or do you do what most people do and just rearrange your prejudices? Cynics reject everything, and the gullible accept everything. But open-minded skeptics like Leonardo da Vinci actually think things through and openly consider different points of view. Leonardo realized how strongly we are influenced by our biases. He counseled that we can free ourselves from the blinding grasp of prejudice and preconception by disciplining our minds to actively, even hungrily, explore everything we want to truly understand, both conceptual and physical, from multiple perspectives. When Leonardo wanted to learn about anatomy, he didn't just read textbooks. He dissected more than 30 bodies, and he's the first person in history to perform dissections from 3 different angles of entry into each part of the body. That's why his anatomical drawings are still used in medical schools today. Whether he was dissecting a corpse, assessing one of his paintings, or considering a new theory, Leonardo knew he needed to liberate himself from his prejudices and preconceptions. This exploration will help you do the same. It will help you unleash your creative thinking and increase your chances of success in whatever you hope to accomplish. In social or professional situations, most people know to avoid subjects like religion or politics. Why? Because many people hold beliefs in these areas that they aren't willing to question, and will take offense if any doubt is cast upon their ideology. The same thing can even happen in discussions about diet, vegans versus paleo, or sports, Patriots, Yankees, Lakers versus anyone else. I've always loved lively discussions and intense debates. In high school, I wasn't named best looking or most likely to succeed. I was voted class arguer. The purpose of arguing is usually to prevail or persuade, and as I learned more about the art of debate, I realized that to be successful, one had to know the arguments of the opposing side at least as well as one's own. As I became more Da Vincian, I slowly shifted my emphasis from attempting to win arguments and prevailing in debates to learning as much as I could through intelligent conversation and exploratory dialogue. The mission became to evolve my point of view, not just prove it. Remember, Leonardo emphasized the greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions. Many of our deceptive opinions were formed at an early age and have become fixtures that we don't even think to question. Among these are many self-limiting beliefs that can severely hamper your success and happiness. So if you can identify and shift your self-limiting beliefs, you can change your life dramatically. The simplest way to identify your self-limiting beliefs is to think of anything you believe that begins with the words, "I can't." Some of the self-limiting beliefs that students have shared over the years include, I can't be creative. I can't improve my mind as I get older. I can't get rich by making the world better. I can't depend on others. If I want it done right, I have to do it myself. I can't sing, swim, dance, do math, cook, be happy, be wealthy, be healthy. I can't juggle. I can't get no satisfaction. In one of my Da Vincian thinking seminars, participants were asked to identify some of their self-limiting beliefs. Jill raised her hand and said, "I can't sing," and recounted a sad tale of being called on to sing in school and then being laughed at. Sound familiar? I asked Jill to reflect on what happened in her body when she thought about singing, and she noticed that just the thought of singing caused her to tighten up. Jill had become aware that she developed the "I can't" syndrome. I tried, I failed, I can't. If we experience embarrassment or shame when we attempt something, we tend to armor ourselves against the pain of that kind of experience by tensing up and then avoiding that kind of activity. I can't becomes I won't, a self-fulfilling prophecy. Let's explore this simple two-step process to identify and evolve your self-limiting beliefs so you can flourish with joy and genius. Step 1, identify your "I can't" self-limiting beliefs. Consider the areas of your life where you're not achieving the success you desire despite your best efforts. What are your "I can'ts"? I'd like you to write 3 self-limiting beliefs in your notebook that might be sabotaging you. Then review them and notice the feelings and sensations that arise in your body as you consider each of your "I can't" beliefs. Then choose the "I can't" belief that seems to affect you the most and write a few notes about your physical and emotional reactions to it. If you think you can't identify your limiting beliefs, that's your first limiting belief to record. Then do 2 more. Okay, pause the video now. Okay, now that you've identified an "I can't," let's go to step 2. Turn your "I can't" into an "I can." Remember, we talked about how Leonardo used a mirror so that he could see his paintings in reverse. The reverse perspective allowed him to better critique his own work. We're going to use that same technique by exploring the reverse or opposite of the self-limiting "I can't" belief. And the opposite of "I can't" is "I can." First, realize that you have created a convincing argument for yourself that reinforces the self-limiting beliefs that are holding you back. As author Evelyn Waugh puts it, when we argue for our limitations, we get to keep them. Which means if we argue against them, we can change them. So make the case for how you can learn, achieve, and accomplish whatever it is you previously thought you couldn't do. When I asked Jill to argue against her belief that she can't sing, she had a hard time coming up with anything at first. But when I asked, "What does your body feel like when you think about singing?" she realized that every time she even thought about singing, she tensed up, thereby ensuring that she would never try to sing again. This led her to an epiphany. She realized that the tension she felt about singing because of that one embarrassing experience many years ago when she had no training and had barely ever tried to sing was holding her back from trying again. She turned her "I can't sing" into "I don't want to be embarrassed like that when I sing." So she argued that if she could find a safe place to sing again, in her car, in the shower, with a nurturing teacher, that she just might be able to sing. Then she told us that upon realizing all this, the tension left her body. She could breathe more fully, and the joy of singing became a new possibility for her. So take a few minutes to consider your "I can't" and challenge yourself to make the argument "I can." A good way to start is to ask yourself, why do I believe I can't? Then write out the origins of how you came up with your "I can't" belief. Then create the argument for how you can do it. Ready? Pause the video now. Did you come up with some convincing arguments against your I can'ts? What I'm sharing with you about Dimostrazione is profoundly personal and meaningful for me. Like Jill, when I had to sing in school, the teacher singled me out for missing the notes and then made me sing in front of everyone. It was mortifying, and for years I never sang again. In art class, we were asked to draw an airplane, and the teacher hung up mine separate from the others as an example of what an airplane doesn't look like. When I was 7 years old, a counselor at camp threw me in the deep end of the swimming pool in a misguided attempt to get me to overcome my fear of deep water. It had the opposite effect, and for years I dreaded even the thought of swimming. Fortunately, I learned from my studies how to think more like Leonardo. And when I discovered the technique of arguing against self-limiting beliefs, I was persuasive. Remember, I was voted class arguer. Eventually, I found a wonderful singing teacher and learned to enjoy singing. I even had the incredible experience of singing in a concert with professional singers. And as it turned out, I married one of the great mezzo-sopranos on the planet, and she's always helping me to discover more joy in singing. Inspired by Leonardo, I also took drawing lessons and now take pride in my unconventional interpretation of the airplane. And not only did I learn to swim, but I set the goal of swimming a mile and was exhilarated when I reached it. I discovered I could learn anything I wanted to, and so can you. It's uncanny, but frequently the activities we think we can't do are the ones we most want to do. I call these dream hobbies. Next, we'll explore how to activate your dream hobby.